From the moment the marketing for this map started, I was trying to temper my expectations as much as I could. After the absolute banger that was Totenreich and how much fun almost everything in that map was, I didn't want to end up disappointing myself by expecting too much out of Kowakujo, or at least I think that's how it's spelled or pronounced. As more and more teasers were shown of the map and we got more and more glimpses of the absolutely stunning visuals and theming, I just couldn't help but lean a little bit into the hopium. Then we got the intro, and while it was good, it actually didn't make me feel that much on the positive side when it came to the map. Yeah, it was good and had funny moments like Richtofen climbing onto Takeo, but after the hype fests that were Astra and Totenreich, I was expecting a little more. And God, did I get more! That gameplay trailer was one of a kind. The way they showed so many awesome elements while also hiding things like the Wonder Weapon, which is still insane in my opinion, but ultimately a decision I fully understand and honestly appreciate. I caught that cat teaser in the trailer, and while I thought it was cool, I never in a million years thought the Wonder Weapon would be a damn cat. But that's enough build up, let's actually talk about the map. First off, I want to talk about the layout. This map just feels so damn good to traverse. It's not a big map by any means, but it feels like the perfect size for a casual, not too aggravating map. There is this idea I see a bit too frequently that if a map is small, that means it's bad or mediocre, or that if it's big, it's guaranteed to be great. I mean, Treyarch feeds into this quite often with the way they market these maps. Ever notice that if a map is large, they scream it up and down every blog post, tweet, or trailer? Meanwhile, if it's anything less than that, they either don't mention it at all, which is what I'm pretty sure happened with Kowakujo, or they might mention it once in an offhanded manner, almost as if they were embarrassed of it. Nevertheless, despite this map being very concise and having a fairly simplistic 3-lane design, it is still insanely satisfying to run around in. Mainly due to the verticality and varied terrain on display in a lot of the areas around the map. The main example of this being the castle and the multiple floors and ways to get around said floors. Overall, the layout of the map is a treat, and I hope we get even more of this in our final map. Next up, I want to talk about the ambiance and story of this map because it is top notch. I won't pretend like I know every single little detail about the story or what is mentioned in intel because I just don't. I am mainly just going off of what I got during the Easter egg and some of the tidbits of intel I did hear. But what I do know is that it's pretty damn engaging. The idea of Takeo being the son of the Shogun is pretty damn cool and not a route I thought they would take with this character or map. As well as getting to learn about Takeo's brother and how Takeo ultimately ended him, which I want to take this chance to address Takeo's side Easter egg on this map. Aside from the activation being insanely inconsistent from my experience, I think this is the best side Easter egg, or at least character side Easter egg, in terms of gameplay. The idea of dueling the ghosts of Takeo's past using the Path of Sorrows is such an insanely cool idea, and having a mini-boss using only the sword was awesome. Unfortunately, I feel like the side Easter egg is brought down by the actual story it's trying to tell. Compared to what we had before with Nikolai and especially Richtofen, it just doesn't feel like the climax of the Easter egg is all that impactful. When you compare it to the horrible realization of how Nikolai doomed those innocent families to be decimated, and how Richtofen is literally a mass murderer and he doesn't even regret it, Takeo just killing his brother because some spirit possessed him doesn't hit all that hard and is fairly disappointing. I feel like it could have been handled a lot better than it was, and honestly, it's just a tad disappointing to me that we didn't even get a mention of that spirit that is in his sword. Maybe that is mentioned in some intel, but as of now, that has not been hinted towards at all. I just have not seen it. Granted, that could just be me being a dumbass, so if you know more about this, then hey, enlighten me. But yeah, moving on from the story, I want to talk about the visuals because, god damn, do not let my horribly dusty and pixelated gameplay ruin it for you. This map is filled to the brim with beautiful scenery and the soundtrack too. I mean, it's just so perfect in every single little moment it is added. Treyarch really outdid themselves with every visual aspect on this map, which leads me to the Wonder Weapon. The Necromancer, at least I think that's how you pronounce it, which, like I mentioned earlier, no one expected. I mean, what can I even say? It's a damn cat, and there's truly nothing better than that. In gameplay, it is also insanely fun to use. Every aspect of it is effective, including the melee attack. You've been seeing most of its normal attacks during this whole gameplay segment, but look at how effective this is at just shredding through zombies and keeping me alive with no effort, all because I paired it with the vampiric extraction augment on melee macchiato. That shit is no joke. The quest to build it is also perfect in my opinion. It's just the right amount of convoluted to take a little time to solve, but easy enough that you can replicate it and it's not a headache, which actually leads me to the main quest of this map, which I personally love, and I believe as of now it is the best Easter egg we've had since BO4, and I am not joking. I am so glad we are finally moving past these quests where building the wonder weapon is just half of the quest, so every single Easter egg in Black Ops 6. This quest has a ton of moving parts, which if you get really familiarized with, you can easily weave into getting tons of parts and doing a lot of steps insanely early before they're even needed, ultimately culminating in a pretty cool murder mystery puzzle, which if you complete on your first try, will award you the Path of Sorrows, which is reminiscent of how you unlocked it in Revelations, also having to do most of the Easter egg and having to do a specific part of it really well. Though to be fair, in Revelations it's not about doing the step, it's more about getting there without getting hit, which is fairly easy if you just keep one zombie, but I digress. It's still a cool reference. Now, I can't really talk about the quest without talking about the drama behind it. I don't want this to take too long, so here's my thoughts. Yeah, you cheated, and also you're probably a loser. You two clearly just used this for your benefit, and I think that's lame as fuck. But the people sending death threats are actual children. You are embarrassing and none of you deserve a voice or a place in this community. Please just stop, take a look at yourself, and reevaluate. Do better. I think Treyarch, aside from the initial fuck up of leaving the strings in the code, handled the situation very professionally, and I'm glad they're actually addressing it instead of just ignoring it like they've been doing for the past, 20 years. Overall, it is a shitty situation, but I think people like Freckleston and Zonex, and I think even the Gaming Revolution are getting a bit too much hate. Yeah, it was a lame thing to do, but again, it could be worse. Anyways, let's move away from this, and speaking of Easter eggs, I want to address the side Easter eggs of this map. Now, to be honest, I haven't done all of them, so I can't give a full review, but from what I have seen and done, these are great. We have things like the Samurai Mech, which, yeah, it's just a Rhino score streak from multiplayer, but it has a quest attached to it, and it also has a Samurai helmet, which, even if small, does make it distinct enough to feel like zombies. You also have the horse race, which is a nice platforming challenge for a decent reward. There is also a not so nice platforming challenge for a free ray gun, which is a callback to the ray gun in the World at War campaign. It is a cool side EE, but man, is that parkour janky as fuck. I just kept sliding off of the shelves, and it might just be me, but the rock that you need to start the Easter egg in the first place is almost impossible to get to spawn. It might just be me again, but I digress. You also have things like the Maneki Neko upgrade, which again, more map exclusive equipment. Yes, Treyarch, give us more. These things are what make zombies maps feel distinct and give them their personality. To be fair, the grenade itself feels a bit weird to use, but that might be because I didn't upgrade it. There is also the gacha machine, which despite my innate hatred for all things gacha, this is a pretty cool side Easter egg in its own right, in which you sacrifice the pack levels on your gun for these charms that give you different abilities. Maybe not that useful, but I thought it was cool. Finally, I want to talk about a side Easter egg that means a lot to me. The Tom Kane tribute. If you go up to the giant cherry blossom tree and crouch right beside the TK while looking up, you will get a small music tribute alongside getting to hear some of Tom Kane's last lines as Takeo.
I see myself at peace, serene, sitting beneath a cherry blossom tree, listening to the joy of my children at play.
Overall, I think Kawakujo or Kowakujo or however the fuck you pronounce it is nothing short of a masterpiece. Maybe not a 10 out of 10. Shit, maybe not even a 9.5 out of 10, but it sure as hell deserves a 9. This map was made with love, with care. It pays honor to one of the greatest figures we've ever had be part of zombies. The Easter egg is fun, it is amazing. The wonder weapon is great. To be completely honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the boss fight, but I still think it's good. It does what it needs to do, and in terms of spectacle, it's honestly amazing. When it comes to miscellaneous things, I feel like I didn't talk much about the Oni, but frankly, there's nothing wrong with the Oni. I feel like a lot of the special enemies that BO7 has been putting out recently, and by that I mean the Negro Pincer and the Oni, they're pretty similar in my opinion. They're slightly tanky brawler type enemies that just have a certain type of projectile or some gimmick to defend themselves. Overall, I think it's a very good enemy. Aside from that, there's also the little trend Treyarch has been having with maps in BO7, where every single map has this little mechanic that gives you extra loot. In Ashes of the Damned, it was the plants. In Astra, it was the crystals. In Paradox, it was also the crystals, but also the cysts. So I guess I do have to give credit on that. In Totenreich, we had fishing, and in this map, we have the lava rocks, which, to be fair, I think is like pretty bad. I mean, they're not the worst because the ether crystals exist, and the ether crystals are just the most monotonous thing with no engagement. At least with the lava rocks, you have to pay attention to them, but in my opinion, that makes them a little worse. But yeah, there's not really much I can add. I absolutely adore this map. I am forever grateful Treyarch or High Moon or whoever it was this time was able to develop this map. And if you have BO7, and you haven't given it a chance, if maybe you only played the campaign and gave up, dude, what are you doing? Play this map. If you don't want to play the other maps, which first off I think you're ridiculous because the other maps are still really good, but just try this map out. See how you feel about it. Because as of now, this is easily the best zombies map we've had since BO4, I would argue. This is the pinnacle of what modern zombies can be. And, you know, maybe I'm being a bit too addicted to the hopium in saying this, but I hope the final map on BO7 can be the next Origins and can show us what modern zombies can be when driven to its absolute peak and when given every ounce of effort it can possibly be given. I know this video won't do very well because my zombies videos usually don't do very well, but if you did stay here and watch, I am forever grateful. Whenever I do COD Zombies videos, it means a little more to me since, you know, it's a franchise that is very near and dear to my heart. And I know these videos won't do well, but I just love to pour myself into them and give my opinions because they really do matter. And if you, whoever you are, watched this video and, you know, actually paid attention to it, I am forever grateful to you, whoever you are. I appreciate your time. Even if you disagree with me, even if you think this map is dog shit, then hey, just say it in the comments. Let's have a discussion. I always read the comments. I almost always respond. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to add on this map. It's amazing. Go play it if you can. Have a great day or night. I love every single one of you. And yeah, that's it, guys.